Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the JWC, the Jahangir Wellness Center studio. Today I've got Dr. Kiranjit Singh joining us today, and we're going to talk about lifestyle diseases, we're going to talk about vices, addictions, how we can get rid of them and hopefully get on to a life of wellness. So thank you very much for being here, Doc.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here and an honor.
Thank you. The first question I'll just straight ask you is, what does wellness mean to you? Because you're a fit guy, from what I can see. So
I could be fitter, I guess. Okay.
we all could. But just overall, what does wellness mean to you? Because I know you're a doctor that really lives by that prescription.
Okay, as a doctor, I think wellness to me, first of all, it's a life without disease.
Right.
And at the same time, it's a life which is happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes into account the mental wellness too. So it's not just physical
Absolutely.
wellness, right? And it may differ at different ages. People's perspective may be different.
Mm-hmm.
But say at 60, I think it's important if somebody is this age and is not having to take any medication. That is the usual blood pressure, medicine, diabetes, medicine, which people actually accept in society today. If you're 60, you're going to need this. So for me, I think wellness and what I desire for everybody is a pipe dream that people should grow without having to having the prop of medications.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yes, something we can help, something can't.
Okay, that's nice. Well, coming to actually what you were talking about, these diseases, particularly these lifestyle diseases,
Right.
Diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, it's starting to see more and more of them, or rather an increase of that kind of diseases. Can you talk a little bit more about why that's happening?
Yes, I think it is our change in society, right? And, you're much younger than I, but when I was to go to school,
Right.
I mean, most kids would cycle to school.
Yeah.
Today, have you heard of anyone cycling to school? No. Cycling is a recreational activity.
Right.
Whereas that time it was a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
You walked or you cycled, and as you grew older, maybe then, you got yourself a motor vehicle or something.
Yeah.
But today, I think it starts with we have kids. That the way our lives have become, the cities have become, I don't think it's feasible for anyone to go to school on a cycle. So most people are going by bus or car or something. And that goes through your 10 or 12 years. And then, when you're an adolescent or a young teenager,
Right.
that's a time where there's a lot of stress normally would have been a lot of stress on games and physical development. But that is also missing because the academic pressure is so high.
Yeah, I was talking about that with someone.
Yeah. So the academic pressure is so high that 11 or 12, class 11 or 12, that's the age of 15, 16,
Mm-hmm.
when you find a young person to be more evolved physically, they actually cut down on physical activity. And at the end of it, what is it? That you get to a so-called professional school or a college, and then your dad rewards you with a motorcycle or with a car. And so there's no activity there either.
Yeah.
And people actually begin to think of exercise only when things have gone wrong at 28 or 30 years of age. This is my observation in practice.
So sedentary lifestyle is starting to happen
Sedentary lifestyle and getting caught up with the whole mechanical world.
Which is happening earlier and earlier now.
It's happening earlier and earlier for the same reasons. You see, and we mix up goodies of life with things which are actually not good. Like you can imagine, there's young people, there's a birthday, there's an anniversary. What do? We go out and eat, right?
Yeah.
We go out for dinner. We go out for lunch. Right? There's a birthday or with a colleague in the office. What do? We order a cake.
Which I will happily finish.
So that's the way we don't really worry about, we don't really understand what we are doing to ourselves.
Okay.
Because our lives have become so mechanical. Food availability is not an issue at all.
Absolutely.
Society
and highly processed food is becoming so
highly
fast
processed food, highly calorigenic food. Cooking at home is getting rarer and rarer because both partners are working. The easier option is to order in food. And order in food, well, I'm not to say that ordered food is bad or something.
Yeah.
It's not the same healthy issue as what you would do when you would cook yourself.
Right, yeah. Okay. Well then, what about things like an increase of alcohol, smoking?
Yes.
How is that affecting these particular lifestyle diseases?
See, my first observation when I got into practice about 14 years ago, prior to that I was in the military.
Okay.
And as a physician, when I started my practice, the first thing which really worried me was, why are there so many young people outside my OPD who are waiting to see me? where the...
And by young people, you mean what? How
25, 30, 28, 35.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, anybody less than 40 shouldn't be outside the physician's office. I mean, that was my understanding.
Okay.
That you get to see a doctor, well, if you bang yourself up in an accident or something, or you had a fall.
Yeah.
But then
and especially if you've been in the army, I'm sure you've seen that.
From that point of view.
Yeah.
And I was amazed as to see why the young people are there. Then I realized that these are the issues. One, they work much too hard. I mean, let's say, talk about Pune. It's an IT city, as we call it, right? And it's quite common for people to pack in more than 12 hours a day. I mean, it's quite common for them.
Right.
And that happens 5 days, 6 days a week. And the 6th day, which is a Friday, and then they want to, let it all, leave it all behind, and they'll go and have a good time. A good time means that they go and drink too much.
Yeah.
And that's also a stressful day that it turns out to be, a Friday or a Saturday. And before you know, it's Monday again, and they're back to the grind.
And then you have a hangover to deal with.
Hangover is just one of the little things. I mean, that's not the problem. But the problem is it becomes habitual.
Yeah.
And the alcohol tolerance keeps increasing. And like I said about food, it's the same thing. Any little incident or any little occasion we want to celebrate, let's go and have a drink.
Yeah.
Let's order the beer. Let's order the champagne.
Right.
So it's becoming like that, and we keep doing it without realizing what we are doing. And sometimes it's very late.
So coming to the alcohol thing a little bit more, I mean, here we're not advocating for or against that. People have personal preferences. But is this thing a myth about, you can have a drink a day and it's fine for you, or it's good for you for that matter?
Well, that's the way even I grew up listening to this.
Yeah.
Right? And I do have a drink once in a while.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm very, I will say it very vehemently, no amount of alcohol is good.
Right.
And if you can stay away from it, nothing like it.
Yeah. But as I said, I mean, some people, it's a personal choice. So that is what...
A personal choice, you can do anything. The personal choice, people drink much more than they should be drinking anyway. That's also a personal choice. But before you get hooked to that, I mean, I would like to say, at least on this platform, is that, well, avoid it as much as you can. It's not as good as you think it is, and there's so many other pleasurable things to do.
Right.
At the same time, I'm not judgmental.
Absolutely.
The people who
That's why I said we're not here to say yes or no.
Yeah.
But the second one is that I thought we'd talk about is smoking. And why I want to talk about smoking with you particularly is because I know from personal experience, or rather knowing you with personal experience, is that you've helped a lot of people actually get off smoking, people who've been smoking for a long, long time. So, and your approach has been very clinical and structured, towards that. So I just thought we'd touch about that and how we can help people address that kind of thing.
Very good. I mean, it's a very important thing. My first message is smoking is an absolute no-no.
Sure.
Absolute no-no.
I can feel people getting nervous in the room again.
That's quite all right. But the reason for it, like you said, my scientific approach. To me, when I first read about it as a doctor, when I started tackling this topic of cigarettes, so it came under nicotine addiction. Now, the word addiction actually startled me. Like when I grew up in a school, so people talk to you about drug addiction, talk to you about alcohol addiction. People said smoking is not good, but nobody used the word addiction. And to my horror, I realized that perhaps nicotine is the most addicting substance in the world. But for various reasons of commerce, etc., that fact has been kind of, hidden behind, or put a little veil or a curtain over it. But the correct word is addiction. And the worst thing that you can do to yourself as far as health is concerned is smoke in any form. And even whether you're vaping, as whether younger kids are doing now, they say it's not cigarettes. No, I mean, the data is not out on vaping either, but it's still nicotine and it is still addicting. So one should be off it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll give you a quick example. I've got a friend who may or may not be in the room, and, we talk about exercise and how to improve exercise and nutrition and things like that. But so he keeps asking me that, what we can do here, what we can do there for exercise, and we talk about that. And then the other hand, I'm asking him, have you quit smoking yet? He's like, no. Like, well, buddy, what you're doing is that you're riding a bike with one hand behind your back. It looks cool today.
Without a helmet.
Without a helmet, because you're going to fall down one day. So, so hopefully the advice that you can give to get that off would be...
No, cigarette is not good for anybody.
So, but coming back to that then, how is it that you can get people off smoking?
Well, the first step is...
It's easy. It's easier said than done.
It's very difficult.
Exactly.
It's very difficult. I mean, to give you a rough idea, if there are about 100 people who are smokers, at least after about 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 80% of them will give it a thought of quitting. All right? And only about, out of those 80, maybe 50 will actually try. And out of those 50 on their own, maybe not more than 10 will succeed.
Right.
But there is medication, and this is not really the place where I can explain that.
Right.
Medication is there, it may be controversial, where this figure of 10 recoveries may be boosted up to 25 to 30.
Okay.
And it's got nothing to do with willpower, etc. Because that doesn't work anymore because your brain is wired differently.
Right. That's
chemically
the point I wanted to
wired.
make with you. That
Yes.
success I've seen is because you're treating it like any other issue.
Yeah, I have to treat it like any other addiction.
Right. Addiction, yeah.
So it's a miswired mind.
Right.
And the wiring being not electricity but chemicals.
Right.
So you have to make an attempt at balancing, rebalancing the whole thing.
Right.
And that's where medication comes in. So no matter how much is your resolve, it's not going to work so easily. In fact, I quote Mark Twain. He said, quitting cigarettes is the easiest thing in the world. I've done it 100 times.
Yeah. So what are the other myths that people come to you with, with these kind of lifestyle diseases?
Well, I would like to put another myth where the young people or not so young people will tell you that cannabis compounds are also safe, are quite safe.
Okay.
And they're better than having alcohol. No, my personal take on that is they're not good either.
Right.
And even from personal experience, I've seen people, cohorts, classmates, etc., over 30, 40 years now. It does cause the deterioration in your personality over years, and you will find that people overall who are using cannabis regularly will not be successful, whether it's their families or it's their business, work, profession, etc. So that is one more myth. So that's part of.
Although compared to smoking, at least, or pure nicotine smoking, there has been cases of medical usage in terms of cannabis.
Cannabis, okay.
I mean, we're getting into a controversial topic, but there is some. At least in my opinion, there seems to be a level of utility in cannabis versus nicotine.
So it's been, there are a few things. His question is how much you tom the good thing.
Right, exactly.
And keep quiet about the bad part of it.
The risk and reward ratio.
Yes. So no, it's also about pushing. Who's pushing that? It's like people, there was a study, well-quoted study about one glass of red wine a day is good for your heart. Now, nobody really knew where the study came from. When it was found out, it was actually a wine manufacturing company who had sponsored the study. So
was the wine good at least?
I still would agree.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
So I'm sorry, I know it's Christmas and all, and I don't want to dampen people's spirits.
No, that's what I was saying.
The pun is on the word spirit. Stay away from it.
Well, I mean, that's what we're saying. We're not saying whether it's, we're not advocating for or against. It's we're just talking about myths and demyths and things.
So there's another thing, is what my wife pointed out to me. Say, if you see the cohort of old-time stars, let's say Bollywood stars.
Right.
And so you knew who were the drinkers and who were not the drinkers. And see how they progress into their 70s or the 80s. I mean, this is the difference is very stark. Who looked younger, better, longer, and were healthier as compared to those who had taken on to alcohol.
Okay.
It's just one of the things, something to reflect on,
Right, absolutely.
I don't want to name no names, but you can reflect on it.
Absolutely. So, final question then, Doc, based on all this. If you had to pick 3 things for someone to focus on for their wellness with the context that we've just spoken about in terms of the lifestyle diseases and these potential addictions and vices.
Yes.
What are the 3 things that you would advise and focus on for someone to keep their wellness on track?
Number 1, if you're a smoker, quit. That's the best thing you could do to your health, right? For your health.
Right.
Number 1 is quit cigarette smoking. Number 2, eat healthy.
Right.
Watch your weight. Keep him to optimum. So that is number 2. And number 3, you must exercise.
Yeah.
So whether that exercise makes you gym fit, or just keeps you going, or it just or at least some exercise has to be done. If you are particularly lazy or something, I would still say about an hour of walking.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a start. So it's not.
But there's so many benefits of
It's not going to get your weight down, but it's going to keep you healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Doc. I appreciate your time over here, and we've had an extremely enriching discussion on all topics. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, and look forward to the next episode.